Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to be talking about the Ultimate Micro RPG book. And what I'm going to give you today is I'm going to tell you the top, the gold standard stories in this book. There are 40 games in the Ultimate Micro RPG book. If you purchase this book, you have 40 games to play. Now, the reality is, this is a 5 out of 5 star product. I absolutely love this book. I highly recommend getting this book. This is a tour de force by games designer James DAmato. By the way, he was kind of a pioneer in early on podcasting for tabletop role-playing games. He's a really important person in the history of tabletop role-playing games. He did a fantastic job with this game. With this book. There are 40 games in this book. You're never going to run them all, ever. Like, there's no way that any one dungeon master is going to have the interest. This is so far-ranging in the different settings. You're never going to be able to run all these games. Also, if you're anybody who's going to run this game, you're going to be a pretty deep-cut dungeon master like me, really dedicated to the craft and, like, you know, kind of Leonardo da Vinci type interests, right, which span. Right, so by the time you get through even half of these, you're going to find new games to run, and you're also going to have requests for extensions to old campaigns. You're never going to run all these games, right? So what I want to do is I want to give you a guide of what's really, really good in this book and what's the best in this book. Okay, so let's talk about it. There are five games in this book that are absolutely spectacular. I really can't recommend them enough. All right, so let's look at what those are. Okay, first and foremost, the first one is The Agony of Elves. Okay, and each one of these games is one page. One page. That's incredible, right? So yeah, it really is just incredible to see a one-page game, right? It's just really super awesome and exciting. And so The Agony of Elves. This is a great. So basically, elves are fae. And there's this whole thing about them living for hundreds of years. And this explores them going off to other realms, right? And you can see I've written on this. I've already run this, and it's really fantastic. So I use this as a session fodder for one session in my existing 5th edition game. It worked out fantastic. It really helped me to draw out this elven society very, very quickly. And it was really it blew me away how much talent was in this one game, The Agony of Elves. And this is the story of elves going to another realm. Actually, just like they did in Lord of the Rings, going off to this kind of never land where they just kind of sleep and dream and play. But then, for some reason, some of those elves having to be sent back out into the practical real world. And it's their experience, and it's really fantastic. Just love this game. It's gold standard. So I'm going to give you 5 games that are absolute gold standard in this book. So the next one is Pyre Waltz. Pyre Waltz is essentially like Mech Warriors in space. This is a Gundam type game. This is a mecha game, and it really captures the spirit of Gundam in a single page, back and front. I'm only showing you the fronts just so there's, still a little bit of mystery to this game for you to explore for yourself, right? But Pyre Waltz is a fantastic, awesome mecha game that you can run for your players. You can run them through 3, 5, 7 session campaign with one single page. Also, by far, from the DAmato's book, the Ultimate Micro RPG, this more time, attention, love, and hard work went into this game than I think probably 20 games in the book, right? It's just incredibly well designed, really tight as a drum, and just really gives you that energy of a mecha world, right? Next is Broken Swords and Twisted Trails. What is this? This is Dungeons and Dragons in 2 pages. Done. That's it, right? And honestly, who doesn't need that, right? Like, that is incredible, right? If you go away to like just a weekend getaway, right, and your friends know you play Dungeons and Dragons, you can pull this out and just with a single set of dice and index cards and some pencils, you're off to the races. This thing is fantastic. It really is that simple. It's just a bog standard fantasy redux of Dungeons and Dragons in 2 pages. That's incredible, right? Next, Going Dark. What is this? Hey, I know some of you out there like video games, right? Well, one of the hottest video games right now is Rainbow Six Siege. This is Rainbow Six Siege in 2 pages. You know, and again, you can run a 3, 5, 7 session tabletop role-playing game with this. It is spectacular. Like, rock solid game. Just super fast, super light, super fun. Brilliant, okay? Last is Dead Planet, okay? Listen to this. 4 months ago, after a century of settlement, Mars stopped responding to all Earth communications. Your crew has been sent to investigate, right? It draws you in so fast, right? If you love space, this is exciting. It's a near world, like The Martian, only with adventure, right? Just really, really cool. And you can see many of these games are incredibly well crafted. Just really, nice, 1 or 2 good pieces of art, graphic design, great, tight, really good, solid game design. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant game. I can't recommend this game this book high enough. When you get this book, The Ultimate Micro RPG, play these first 5 games first. That's the best way to experience this book, right? Because if you're like me, I get a lot of games, and honestly, I get a month or 2 or 3 with any game but D&D. I always return to D&D, but I'll probably get 3 to 6, maybe 9 months of play out of this. But it'll be spread over 3-4 years, right? And I want to just give you a guide of what's the best there is in this book. And those 5 are the best games in this book. That's my opinion. Did you pick this book up? Have you ever played these micro RPGs? These 1 to 2 page RPGs, maybe even up to 10 pages? What's your thoughts on them? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.